most people would like, whoa, imagine if I could have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And I'm here to tell you today that it comes with a lot of uh, responsibility, a lot of hardship, a lot of issues. And we're going to discuss them today. And I'm really, really excited about it. So let's see what we can do here. First of all, I'm not a 1 million subscriber YouTuber myself. Okay. I do aspire to become one. And when I do, I will be prepared. Okay. It's going to be freaking awesome. Um, but for quite a few people that get there, they don't know what to expect. And I've worked with a few YouTubers that actually have received that type of success, working with one right now. And it's interesting to hear about what they're discussing, what they're talking about. And I want to make sure that everyone knows this information because it's actually quite powerful to know if that is a direction that you want to take your your brand, your personal brand, and your business in the future as well. So, first of all, let's discuss the aspect of loneliness. Now, you might like obviously you're going to experience the loneliness of building your business on the way to success, right? In the beginning, you have some friends, you have some family members, but they have no idea why you're doing what you're doing. And so during that time frame, it's very lonely. Like no one understands what you're going through and you haven't met any other YouTubers and people that you're talking to online. They're also grinding themselves, so they don't have that much time to talk to you either, and you guys are maybe at different levels in the game, so it's like it doesn't make sense all the time to be spending a lot of time with other people. Okay, so the journey is lonely on your way to success. But that you think that once you get to a certain level, like for example 1 million subscribers on YouTube, that loneliness stops. Like, won't I be more fulfilled from a relationship type of perspective once I become a big YouTuber? There's going to be like 100,000 people that watch my videos when I upload within 24 hours. Of course I'm going to not feel as lonely as I was throughout the journey, right? False. A lot of the time, you're going to feel just as lonely, if not more lonely, because of the expectation, right? When you set an expectation for yourself, uh, and it doesn't become reality, that's when you become unhappy, right? So we kind of understand on the journey towards success that this is going to be lonely. But then when you get there, you then try to understand, like, wait, hold on a second. It's also lonely at the top. Now, a lot of people will say it's not lonely at the top, and that is correct if you understand become how to solve that equation before you get there. And there's a lot of people that just grind until they arrive, and then they're like, wait, hold on a second. This is not what I signed up for. And they quit instead of just continuing to do what needs to get done and solving that equation on the side. It's almost as if the overcoming the loneliness issue is a like that becomes their side hustle, right? Back in the day, they had a job and then they built the YouTube on the side. But then now you are building your YouTube as a full time job, pretty much. And then you are solving the loneliness equation on the side. There are different things that can be done, obviously, to solve that equation, but I just want to kind of mention that as we go through. Another one is the aspect of female relationships. I see this one a lot, where you manage to get a girlfriend, and then you have all the time in the world, right? Because you're a YouTuber, but obviously you're working, but you're working from home. And most probably the girlfriend that you managed to attain at that time, she doesn't have something that she's doing. So she's going to be spending a lot of time at home as well. First of all, that's going to deter you from continuing to do what needs to get done because it's more comfortable to spend time with her rather than building your YouTube channel and get rejected by many people in your comment section. But not only that, attraction begins to fade the more that woman begins to like see who you truly are, because who you were was a facade when you built your YouTube channel, right? Like the persona that you are is sometimes very different than the person that you are in real life. And so if you get a girlfriend that is better than what you could ever have imagined. Back in the day when you weren't a successful YouTuber, you get a really good girlfriend, and then suddenly she loses interest in you. And you're like, wait, hold on a second, this does not make any sense. And you get broken up with as the one that should be having the power in the relationship. And there's many reasons why this happens, but the most important thing is that she loses attraction because of certain rules of attraction that are being broken by you, right? So as a big YouTuber, this comes again as a shock because the expectations versus reality. It's like, just because you're a huge YouTuber, it's just like people who think that having money is going to cause attraction with women. It doesn't. Okay. Let me just clear that up once and for all. It's frame that actually causes attraction with women. It's you being able to understand how to behave in such a way that causes attraction. It has nothing to do with money. Although money is a good entrance door, just like the example here with the big YouTuber, it's easier to open the entrance door for getting a high quality woman. But just because she enters into your life doesn't mean that she's going to stick around, and that becomes so much more painful when you are a successful YouTuber, right? Because now you have to be like, how much more success do I need to have in order to retain a woman? Well, you actually have to change your thinking and look at it from a different perspective. So very good topic there that we can discuss another time. All right. Another one is the aspect of monetization. When people believe that, like, many people believe that once you get to 1 million subscribers, it's kind of like that alpha omega. You get that, gold plaque, and you're like, I massively am successful now, but I'm not making any money. And people are like, wait, hold on a second. How can you not be making money when you have 1 million subscribers? The amount of money that you get paid depends on views, and it depends on something called CPM. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have a high CPM so that you can get paid from advertisers, companies that want to market their stuff during and after your videos, right? You know how ads work on YouTube, hopefully. And once you arrive at 1 million subscribers, you are kind of like, you're thinking you're going to be making a certain amount of money. And then again, it's the expectation versus reality. You might be disappointed, and that causes you to lose the momentum that you might have that you had in the past. You had momentum. Now you arrive. Now you're like, why am I building this thing? Like, why am I building this type of momentum if it's going to pay this amount? A lot of people also think that sponsors are automatically going to come knock on your door once you're a 1 million subscriber, and it's just not the case. And the reason why is because most companies haven't figured out that it's actually extremely valuable to put their brand in front of 100,000 views. And they haven't figured that out yet. And this industry is very young still. So it's like almost as if YouTubers have to chase getting sponsors even at that level. And that's like, what? That's crazy. Now, others are more experienced and more figure out the monetization aspect with sponsors a lot earlier, and kudos to them. But sometimes you also are relying on agencies to get you deals. And if you're not getting deals, then you're relying completely on the ad revenue. You don't know how to monetize because you just know how to get attention. You don't know how to monetize that attention. Well, you're kind of in a problematic situation. And this can cause someone who has a massive YouTube channel to completely and utterly stop. And this is not the time to stop, because what naturally happens is that the financials that they did have at that level, they then begin to drop by 50 to 80% by not posting regularly. Like, they stop posting regularly, and then the monetization goes down by 50 to 80%. Could you imagine if you're making 20K and you are now beginning to have lifestyle inflation, as we call it, right? So things begin to look up from a expenses perspective, right? You've been poor this entire time trying to build your YouTube, and then you get to a certain level and you're like, yo, I've spent my money now. And then what happens? Well, the government comes, because like very often people don't set aside money for taxes in the beginning, right? And so the government comes and says that you owe them this much in taxes. Oh, crap. You stopped uploading because you arrived at this specific goal. And so as you stop, then suddenly the monetization of the channel also begins to drop exponentially. Okay, so if you're making 20K, suddenly drops to 10K or drops to 4K. Holy crap. Now you're like, your expenses used to be that, and now it's this, and now you're like, what do I do? And oh my gosh, like, and you start stressing out. So monetization and learning what to do when you're making money is such an important thing. And this is a skill that is developed. You don't, like, very often people who become successful don't have that skill in the beginning. And so as a result, they're going to struggle. This is a problem that can be fixed, that can be prevented, but it's a skill like anything else, and it must be developed so that you are not fretting about money once you get to that level. And there's a lot of people that actually are. And another aspect is the specialist slash self-employment curse. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki talks about this in Cash Flow Quadrant, and he explains that when people become successful, okay, so in the beginning, you're by yourself, right? You're just grinding on your own, trying to figure things out. And so you develop skill sets in multiple aspects of your business. And on YouTube, that's the case as well, right? Ideation, learning the scripting part, and then editing. Like, most YouTubers do all of that stuff themselves. And once they arrive at a specific level, they kind of get sick and tired of doing that thing. So imagine you do 2.5 years of doing this on the side of your job. You manage to replace your job, and you continue to do this on a daily basis and just crushing until you get to a certain level. And then you can kind of get sick and tired of it, right? But no one can do it like you, right? Because you have these amazing YouTube videos and everyone else sucks, and there's no editor out there that could do it the same way that you do, and no one can create the hooks and the scripts the way that you do. And of course, ideation is the hardest thing, and so you're like, I couldn't outsource this to someone else. And so as a result, you get on the hamster wheel of only being a one-man show. That is a recipe for disaster long term, because it's a full-time job, right? And it's a full-time job that has a boss that are basically, 100,000 to 1,000,000 people that are commenting, in the comment section of, you did this wrong, or this sucks, or why don't you do this, and how come you haven't done that, and yada, yada. Like, there's tons of bosses that are criticizing you on a continual basis. And this is painful for someone who's supposedly successful and famous and, should be getting gratitude from their fans, but they just get a bunch of crap instead. Like, obviously, they receive a lot of positive stuff as well, but it's kind of like when I was a kid and I had like amazing grades. Okay, I just got like straight A's in all of my classes. And then I had like one that was like a B plus, like C plus or something. It's different measurements in Norway. And my dad looked at it and he's like, "What's going on with the math?" And I was like, "What the flip? Like, how come you're focusing on that? Like, focus on all the positive stuff." Well, guess what? This is how we as humans function. It's like we look at what's negative and we focus on that. And this is the same way that YouTubers are going to do when they hear negative stuff on their channel. They're going to focus on that negative stuff. Okay, until they actually develop the skill of literally not caring about the negative stuff that people say, because they have a plan, they have a goal, they have a drive towards something that they're trying to do. So they don't care about what anyone else thinks. But once you reach a certain level, you become less tolerant for that type of stuff. Isn't that crazy? Like, you'd think that you'd become more tolerant for crap and negativity, but because you don't have a goal, very often that, like, the 1 million subscriber count is the goal, and they don't set a new goal. And so as a result, they don't get more results, and so they become more easier targets for negativity. And the thing that I wanted to mention about the team development is that they don't want to seek out other people that can actually help them to build their channel and build their movement. And that is a mistake, because you want to build a life of freedom where it's not just you building your YouTube channel. You want to have other people participating as a team. I remember helping one of my clients. He was at 200 subscribers when we started working together. A couple of years later, we started only doing YouTube because he was already financially free after I'd helped him out. And then we just did YouTube for the next 4 years. And he had massive success. Like he went from 200 subscribers to 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube. And what we noticed is that he never got to the point of burnout ever. And why do you think that was? Is because very early on in his journey, we started replacing him with other people. Okay, so right now he's got 3 channels going. He's got massively regular updates happening on a continual basis, and he's got 10 employees. And you can't see that from the outset. Like, he's got 10 employees in third world countries. And in the beginning, he was like, I'm not gonna hire someone in India or someone in, wherever in third world country to help me out with my channel. It doesn't make any sense because he had the same mindset of what I explained earlier of like, you don't, like, no one can do this better than me. And then he found out that, oh yeah, they could definitely do it better than you. He was like, whoa, this editor is just like doing some crazy things. And so we replaced him with the editing, and then we replaced him with the scripting, and and now he's basically just doing the ideation because he just loves it, and he comes up with cool stuff. But everything else we've replaced with other stuff, with other people, and so as a result, he's never burnt out. And there's a system to this madness of how you can do that in such a way so that people in the comments are saying, "Whoa, how do you still upload twice a week with high quality, documentaries?" and absolutely crushing it and never ever burn out, because most people do. And so there's systems to this madness of how it's done, and he got it done, and kudos to him with the work that we did together. All right, so another one, and this one is one that I've experienced, and you can experience it way earlier than 1 million subscribers, and that is the aspect of being bored of the topic. Okay, so when you're building your YouTube channel, you get to a point where you you might not be that interested in that topic as you used to be in the past. And that is a very tricky place to be because the audience have gotten used to you speaking about a specific topic continuously. And you don't like talking about that topic anymore. So how did that work with me? Well, back in the day, I had 200 subscribers or something like that, or 100 subscribers, I don't remember. And I bought Graham Stephan's YouTube course that promised that it would help you get to 1,000 subscribers. And it was like $300 or something, and I bought it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to 1,000 subscribers now. And one of the things that he mentioned on there was that you needed to pick one topic, one niche, one thing that you're just gonna hammer and talk about continuously every single day. And I did that, and I was intrigued because what happened? Well, like within months or weeks, I got to 1,000 subscribers, and I started talking about the topic of SR. Now, if you don't know what SR is, then just search up SR on YouTube, and you'll find out. And the R stands for retention. And the first word I can't even say because you can't monetize that word. All right, so me doing that topic, I did that for an extended period of time. The people that wanted to hear about it, they just wanted to hear about that. They're not interested in business, not interested in money, not interested in, like maybe they were interested in relationships, but I didn't really want to talk about relationships. It's like it was getting annoying. Like there was a disconnect between me and my audience because I didn't want to talk about it, but that was the only thing that they wanted to talk about. Like I'm trying to find an ideal client of someone that wants to level up in every area of life, not just SR. And it's not just SR that's going to take you to success. Like there's so many other aspects. Like it's like a piano and you're just like playing one note continuously. That's SR. Bro, like have you seen the piano of life, bro? Like there's so many things that you can do with the piano of life. SR is not just it, okay? And you need to understand that. And so I was trying to explain that. Yeah, it's tricky for people to control their urges, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I attract that type of audience is because I overcame those, right? Like I haven't watched that stuff for 6 years plus, whatever, like at all. And so just helping you understand how it feels for a YouTuber that like I can just imagine someone who's done it for even longer than me or more effectively than me and gotten to 1 million subscribers, and then he's got a massive audience of people that want to talk about something that he's just not he's not interested in at all. What's he gonna do? Like, he's just gonna accept having lower view counts, accept having people fall off and unsubscribe because he talks about a completely different topic that's more authentically to him. That's what happens. And, and YouTubers get discouraged by that and don't really know how to angle it so that, they don't lose their audience and they don't get, too many haters and people that are upset as a reason of switching niches. So that's one. They don't want to start over and they've developed this fake persona. I'm not that person that talks about that thing anymore, although that's what I've been doing for a long period of time. It just causes burnout, basically. And that's the reason to stop. Yeah. Also, another one that I've seen is the pressure to top themselves, meaning that they've gotten really, really good at certain types of videos and they feel that they need to get even better. Like they have to do better and better and better videos. Now, obviously, you want to make more and you want to make more videos, sure, but you also want to make better videos because, you're an ambitious person. But at the same time, sometimes you just have to continue posting and being okay with failing. When you're having problems with that aspect, it's just better to realize that, you know what? I'm just going to continue and be okay with failing forward because that's what's necessary at that point. So there's so many more things that I could mention about this, but I'll just mention some solutions, okay? And this is for those of you that have watched all the way till here. That is, one, take care of the loneliness aspect early on. You want to make sure that you find friends that are going in the same direction as you are, with the same type of intensity and speed as you are, and you keep lifting them up when they struggle, and they lift you up when you struggle. Okay, those are the best types of friends. And guess what? They exist. They're out there. You just need to find them, and when you find them, you got to hold on to them because they're going to be your friends for life. There's not that many people that are like really ambitious and really driven. So when you find them, bro, hold on. Okay, I'm one of those guys. So if you sometimes see me and sometimes hang around with me, awesome. But bro, you should be spending every day with me if you could, because that's going to keep you on track, which is the company name, towards where you want to go. Now, if you know someone else who is more in your vicinity and more, more like you, then make sure you spend time with those people so that you can get to where you want to go with the company, right? Alex Hormozy said, even though he's not 40 yet, he says, there's a quote, when I was in my 20s, I thought it was about the destination. When I was in my 30s, I thought it was about the journey. When I'm in my 40s, it's about the company, right? It's about the company you keep. It's about the friendships that you develop on the way. But what if you switched that up? What if you actually made it so that you are thinking about finding the right type of people you want to have in your life for life, and you do that in your 20s, and you set up that foundation first, and you make sure that, you lead them and they lead you towards where you want to go, and you never ever give up on the thing that you want to do. So what's very important about this is that you have to be very clear about what you want for your life. Because if you don't really have direction, you're just going to get friends from random places. So don't be random about the end destination, because then you can't set up the journey the right way, but you also can't set up the company, the people, the right way either. They are hard to find because most people are involved in material inferior pleasures. Yeah, they are definitely hard to find, but that's what makes it worth it, right? And that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it special. So when you do find the right people, like, again, hold on to them, because it's worth more than gold, more than, like, in a catastrophic apocalypse type situation, it is your network that matters the most. Like, it doesn't matter what you have in terms of, like, what you can pay. Obviously, it helps if you've got gold, maybe Bitcoin or whatever. But the most important thing is that you have people to brainstorm, what do we do next? Because, like, so much unpredictable stuff can happen during that type of situation. But life is unpredictable. Everyday life is its own apocalypse in some way, shape, or form, right? Most days are kind of chill, but there are apocalyptic moments in your life where you need that friend to boost you and go in the right direction together with each other. So I can't emphasize that point enough. That's number one and should be the main focus that you have in your life early on, of continuously looking for people that are better than you or at the same level, but massive drive, massive ambitions. And the people that are better than you, they need to also have that drive and ambition, because there's a lot of people that become successful and then they stop. And you don't want to become friends with the person that stops, right? Because when the tide runs out, you'll see who's skinny dipping. You don't want to be with people that are skinny dipping. Yeah, anyway, you get my point. All right, so the second thing is you need to spend way less than you earn. Okay, if you get to the point where you're making 10K USD a month or 20K USD a month, you want to reduce your costs so that you're setting aside 80% of your money. Like, don't have lifestyle inflation. It is the worst thing that you can do for yourself early on in your life. You want to pick a number. These are my expenses. I'm comfortable at this level, like comfortable enough for me to grind continuously. And I'm going to keep my expenses at that level for an extended period of time, despite how much money I make. That is such an underrated skill set. You've got no idea. As a big YouTuber, once they get to that level and they have that comfortability of having set aside a lot of the money that they put aside, they'll have money for taxes. They'll have money for downturns and views. They'll have money to pivot and to do a different niche. They'll have money to do like all of the things that they want to do. They'll have money to take a year off if they want to, although that's extremely dangerous, right? Because you might never return. But having that capacity of having more, like, of spending way less than you earn, it's powerful. You want to get to $10 million. I know this is like a huge, lofty number for most people, but you want to get to $10 million because then you can literally live off of the interest on it. Not from a bank, but living off the interest of, whatever the stock market is doing at the time, like with index funds. Because normally you'll get an 8% rate of return annually over time. So that's $80,000. It's actually 800,000 a year, right? So it's sufficient for you to live very, very comfortably no matter where in the world you live, right? Because it's hard to spend that much money every month. It's not hard for some people, but it becomes if you develop the correct characteristics of success. So, I would also, while still being very wise with your money, I would also, a third thing is build a team. Build a team not only of friends, but people that you want to be friends with and that you want to have around you for long term. And find people that would want to be with you long term, right? Because if, as you're building then a team and providing jobs, you now have someone to spend time with to enjoy that journey towards the next destination as well. This is a huge thing that most people don't think about, but building a team makes it much less lonelier, and it also prevents burnout in a massive way. So this is what I want to share with you guys. This is a great start for my new target of bigger YouTubers. That's what I'm going to pivot towards now. In the past, I kind of worked with all types of people who wanted to build their business or to become successful or gain their financial freedom, because that's what I got in 2016. That was the last October 2016. It was my last full-time job. And so I wanted to help. I wanted to help men all around the world to quit their jobs and gain their financial freedom. But what I've realized is that I'm getting too many different people from different niches and different interests, that the community that we've got, it's really powerful, but kind of I'm the only uh common denominator, so to speak, which is great. We've got great values in the community and stuff like that. But at the same time, I wanted to niche down so that I can only have YouTubers in my space. And that long term is going to be able to bring in all sorts of people long term. And so I just got to be patient with the process and realize that I can help big YouTubers to achieve their goals and help them to, create communities and build their business up and monetize and prevent burnout and all that stuff. And as I do that, it's going to give me access to way more people long term. And so that's kind of why I'm doing the pivot. If you check out my bio on Instagram, you'll notice the pivot that has already happened. And I'm going to start doing the rebranding of my channel as well. It's still going to be Joseph.ONTRACC. That's the name of the company. But we're pivoting towards bigger YouTubers that want to completely change their life and to achieve greatness. So that's what I want to share with you guys. I'm excited. And if you want to talk to me and chat with me, make sure you DM me at Joseph.ONTRACC on Instagram. And I'll see you guys in the next one.